are one, the naught is naught. And power is but illusion. That heaven and earth and hell are not around, above, below, but within. Which in the light of art becomes naught, and Allah is all mercy, all power, all wisdom, all knowledge, all truth. We got the proof. Faith is surety that man will become deific. The ladder of salvation reaches from the heart of man to the heart of the Creator. 3 steps will make you greater. Belief, faith, fruition. That's the current mission. See it all through and become one with the truth.
Wisdom is the consciousness of the art that man and God are one. That's how it ought to be. That's what we're taught. That's how it ought to be, cause truth don't change. And Allah is a part of me, where wisdom is the consciousness of the art that man and God are one. And that's how it ought to be. That's what we're taught. That's how it ought to be, cause truth don't change. And Allah is a part of me, where wisdom is the consciousness.
Rest of my days, wonderful he is in all ways. His knowledge transcended back.
I will not be stopped. I will not be stopped. I will not be stopped. Who is that trying to stop me? Well, we gonna tell this truth. Everybody thumbs up. Let's get it.
Send your babies to day school. To jump the hoops, eat day food, you day fool.
Everybody thumbs up. Let's get it. All right, let's go, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all up any longer. Everybody share if you can. I share it later. You know what I mean? You shook, sweating, brown, tripping molasses. We're gonna get this started right now. And will we speed up the molecule? Slow down the ethers. I don't know what they trying to do. But check it out. Let's just get it started.
The quarter song wheel on me.
I'm gonna play my song. You bet that. That needs my people. So we about to get it started.
Of what's in the nation of Islam, we are taught under the strict religious alignment.
Hey!
When the enemy tried to kill him, when they said he was a prophet, he really didn't feel him.
When y'all let down, y'all you down. It's time to stand up. The prophecy is down. Hey, he's talking, but show me what you producing. Love it, we ain't talking stupid. Up in court, get beat up in the hallway. Keep crowns on the ground, so you can go down straight. Make me wanna cry, can't deny it. See my people so guided. White world, we so divided. All we gotta do is use what the prophet provided. Always trying to take the shortcut. We be doing stuff like we on the short bus. The world is watching. And people wait for us to stand up and do the story. Hey!
Where was y'all at in 1913? This is way before Martin had a dream. Way before Elijah had birth.
Let's go, man.
We was in
Y'all
the
ready?
The land of the North. Hey! Where was y'all when he was on the milk crate? Going hard on 35th state.
Oh, Frog, nah, come on, man. This is how we roll.
On his head. Hey!
We gotta end Dr. Khalid Muhammad. You already know.
And they go never argue with you that I'm not a fool. And wouldn't come in your
Gotta end Dr. Khalid Muhammad.
you and say I'm a fool if I didn't feel in my heart.
You gotta end Dr. Khalid
So
Muhammad.
that I am. Tell you
God
goddamn it, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. No more. So if I say it, I mean it. If I mean it, generally, I say it. I understand, boy.
Let's go.
Where
was
was
y'all?
y'all in 1913? This is
Come on,
Martin had a dream.
this is way before Martin had a dream, man. We was in the grave, the land of the Lord.
Where was y'all
When he was on the milk crate, going hard, a 35th state. Man, come on, man. Y'all got to feel me, man. Y'all ready? Let's go.
Hey, where was y'all when the enemy tried to kill him? When they said he was a prophet, but still didn't feel him. When y'all let down, no, you bring y'all down. Time to stand up. The prophecy is now. Hey. The prophecy is now. Hey.
Good luck.
The prophecy is now. It's time to stand up.
It's time to stand up. The prophecy is now. Hey. It's Stomp, family. Welcome to another edition of Moorish World TV, and I am your beloved host, Brother Tahaka Bay. Man, I appreciate y'all for sticking around. I don't know what was going on. The feed just kept on dropping. I mean, it was just crazy. Sid Moore, brother, I got to release this music soon. I got a lot of more new tracks coming, and I'm going to release this for the people. I can't keep it to myself, but I appreciate y'all for sticking around. You know, I don't know why the feed just kept dropping. It's like 3 times it then dropped. So I'm back in the building. Man, shout out, man. Brian Hess, he said, I expected a response to Seti and Pharaoh claims. What happened? They got me doubting the Moorish thing. Brother, they didn't put no claims up. Fetty and the Pharaoh, they did a private thing. If somebody get me the video, I will refute all of their claims. In fact, if you look at the video that I did and it's flashing on the screen dissecting Sarah, I actually rip apart some of his claims. But I haven't seen the video. If I see the video, I don't mind. I tear it up. You know what I mean? I tear it up. If I just need to see the video. I'm not going to pay $25 to see him the misinformation. But I will tell you this. I will tell you that most of the information that they dispense is not particularly has anything to do with Moorish Science. What they are debating for the most part, if y'all can hear me, what they debating for the most part is what they've learned on the internet. And it has nothing to do with the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. But for the sake of learning, if somebody get me the video for free, I will pick it apart piece by piece. Now, one thing I won't do is I won't spend a whole bunch of time to stuff that don't pertain. When I see the videos of him and Seti the first time that they put out, much of that information had nothing to do with the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. None of it. You know what I mean? A lot of it had to do with sovereign citizen type of doctrine. A lot of them had to do with stuff that you get off the internet. It has nothing to do with the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So that's one reason I don't get offended. But one thing I do is I will grab that information and use it as a tool to teach the people. So if anybody is listening and they have the video, email it to me, tahakabay@yahoo.com. Email it to me. They won't respond to me. I mean, I would debate. Listen, they didn't put Prophet Noble Drew Ali in a casket. They didn't put him in a wheelchair, and it's all fun. Okay, hee ha ha. But I will debate both of them at the same time. I would debate both of them at the same time. If somebody, I mean, listen. I don't want to debate with the cussing and the screaming and all that. I mean, I don't mind the screaming because I get hyped too. But I'm talking about the disrespect and the cussing and all that. I ain't really interested in that because that can turn into something else. You know what I mean? That could turn into something else. However, if they wanted to debate me like Seti debated the other Moorish brothers, if they wanted to debate me, I would debate both of them at the same time. And I'm gonna be quite clear with you. The world haven't seen the half of what I know about Moorish Science. I've let the world see what I want them to see. They haven't seen the half of what I know about Moorish Science Temple of America. You know what I'm saying? But I would, as Uncle Ross said, I would debate them one by one, or I would debate them at the same time. As long as it's organized, I wouldn't care. As long as it's organized, you know what I mean? The point of the matter is, if the point of the matter is that most of that information, if you pay attention, and I would employ anybody to go to listen to a SETI video, to go listen to a Pharaoh video. Most of the information is 90% filler. Here in Baltimore, I don't eat crab cakes, right? I don't eat crabs, but I used to. And in Baltimore, they have crab cakes. Now, you can go to a spot and get a crab cake that's jumbo lump crab meat. And they like that. They like that. But also, you can go to a spot where the jumbo lump is on the outside and the inside is nothing but filler. Most of them, what they're talking about is filler. I'm telling you, it's just filler. Ain't no jumbo lump on that demonstration. But I'm telling you, for the people, I would debate SETI or Pharaoh or SETI and Pharaoh at the same time. Screen shares and everything at the same time. I'm telling you. And the sad part about it is, when I debate them, I'm telling you, I will turn the heels on the Kemetic community because they represent Kemetic science. And as I showed in the last video, that if we're going to blame somebody for the slave trade or being in cahoots with the European, I showed that the Congolese and the Somalian was the culprits, and they come out of the Nile Valley. They come out of the Nile Valley. Now, I don't get into all of that argument due to the fact that we all stem from a common ancestor. And I'm not talking about the monkey. I'm talking about out of the Nile Valley. So it doesn't even make sense, to even get into that argument to sling mud on my Nile Valley brothers. Because watch, just like this one here today, all of our people have suffered slavery due to not honoring the principles as laid down or taught by their foreparents. So I don't get into that. You know what I mean? I don't get into that. So in other words, we gonna get busy. Sister Love Nelson said the video is a little staticky. Is the video a little staticky? Am I too loud? What's going on? Anyway, I don't hear anybody else saying anything. Can everybody hear me and see me clear? Because I'm about to get into it. You know what I mean? I'm about to get into it. A little bit of white noise on my end. Let me see if I can turn the mic down just a little bit. If everybody hear me. Everybody hear me. Okay. So, family. So, first and foremost, I rise, I give praise to Allah, I give honor to the noble, illustrious Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honor to all of y'all in this chat that have interest in what I have to say. Because if you wasn't here, then there will be no need for me to be here. So I honor y'all for being here. But the thing is that this is a show, this is a presentation where you should get up in your emotion. You should. You should be concerned. You know what I mean? You should be concerned and you should be up in your emotions. Because what I'm going to talk about today is something that's consistent with our Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And one thing we're going to talk about is Kanye West. First of all, we got to examine, family, and I want y'all to hear me and hear me good. I want y'all to hear me and hear me good. Family, one thing I find out is that we have a problem. One of the most crazy problems, and I hope I can teach y'all this. Let me teach y'all, because you can teach me too. One of the main problems we have as a group of people, we are the most emotional people on the face of the earth. Soon as somebody says something, we have to emotionally react. It doesn't matter. Soon as somebody says something, we emotionally react. I'm looking at people respond to this flyer today. And man, they are emotional. My big brother, Ishmael Bey, he says, well, maybe your ancestors volunteered for slavery, but not mine. But now, family, I want you to listen clear. This is how you know our people don't pay close attention. But me being a Moorish American and me being one who does pay attention, now let me show you what we're going to deal with. Let's listen to what Kanye say, can we? And then we can deal with it from there. Let's listen to what Kanye said, and then we can deal with the point. Let's go.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice.
He didn't say it is a choice. He said it sounds like a choice. Let's hear it one more time. Let's clear it up for all the good, smart people like Ishmael Bey. Let's clear it up for all the smart people like Ishmael Bey that think he said it is a choice. And I'm going to show you that he's right. It does sound like a choice. And I'm going to show you why.
Slavery for 400 years. For 400 years, that sounds like a choice. That sounds like a choice. For 400 years, that sounds like a choice.
Huh?
Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? You know, like, it's like we're mentally in prison. I like the word prison because slavery...
Listen to what he said.
Too direct to the idea of blacks. It's like...
Okay, now you hear what he said. He said, let's be clear as we start this show off. He said, it sounds like a choice. He didn't say it's a choice. He said it sounds like a choice. Let me tell you what Kanye West is doing. Since everybody want to be so smart and so sensitive, in particular, I'm speaking to brothers like Ishmael Bey who got really emotional and said, well, no, it's your ancestors, not mine. But he said it sounds like a choice. And then listen to what he said following that. Listen what Kanye say after that. Listen to the words, because we're going to deal with the facts of what he said. Listen to what he said after that. After that statement, and this is not, no, I didn't cut this up.
When you hear about
Listen.
slavery for 400 years, for 400
Listen
years,
to what he
that
said.
sounds like a choice.
It sounds like a choice.
For 400 years, that sounds like a choice.
Okay?
Like, you was there for 400 years.
Listen to what he said.
You know, like, it's like we're mentally in prison. I like the word.
We're mentally in prison. We're mentally in prison. And he goes on to say he don't like to use the word slavery, so he uses the term mentally in prison as interchangeable, to be interchangeable with slavery, with mental slavery. Now, if you subscribe to being a Moorish American, the prophets say we are suffering from mental slavery, which we now have. Now, this is why I say Kanye is on to something. He said it sounds like a choice. Now, first of all, let me get to the argument where, let me touch this real quick as I set it up, where people say, well, okay, well, he got it wrong anywhere about the 400 years. He got it wrong about the 400 years. Well, let me tell you what they're counting from. They're counting from the year 1619 with the indentured servants in Jamestown all the way up until now. That would be 400 years if I'm not mistaken. So when we start to talk about some scholarship and we start looking at dates and we say 400 years in slavery, one of the main narratives that people are using also is the 400 years in the Bible. And so they use that term. But let's not get stuck there. Let's deal with it sounds like a choice. Because he didn't say it's a choice. He said it sounds like a choice. And why does it sound like a choice, Kanye? Why does it sound like a choice? First of all, let's deal with the TMC video. First of all, family, the TMC video was a setup. That's first and foremost. First, we got to get to know that the TMC demonstration was a setup. That's it. Period, point blank. When you get to that and you know that it's a setup, then we can move forward. After we know that it's a setup, let me get this off my screen real quick. Now we know that it's a setup. How do we know it's a setup? The reason that we know it's a setup is because the setup comes from, he goes to the most exploitive tabloid show on the planet. The most exploitive tabloid show on the planet. That's first of all. But let me explain how this setup works. I want y'all to work with me real quick. This is how the setup works. And then we're going to get into it sounds like. But let's talk about how the setup works. First of all, the setup works like this. Let me move my screen down. The setup works like this, family. First of all, Kanye West, the TMZ show was a setup. Give you another setup. Here's the second setup right here. When he wore the hat, Make America Great Again with the Europeans. Here's the second setup. But what is he setting you up for? What? I mean, this was before. The hat was before and then the TMZ. So what was it? What was it for? Let's go to the next. Kanye is about to release a record. And the record that the CD that he just put out, it's called Kanye versus the People. If you haven't had the privilege to hear it, I implore you to go on YouTube and type in Kanye versus the People. This CD or this song is consistent with the setup. And I just got a few lyrics where he says, I had it for us. You turned my dreams into dust. I know Obama was heaven sent, but ever since Trump won, it proved that I could be president. Yeah, you can. This is T.I. part. Yeah, you can. At what cost, though? Don't that go against the teachings that we yay taught for? Yo, Tip, I hear your side and everybody talk, though, and everybody talk, though, but I ain't going against the grain everything I fought for. Probably so. Probably so, yay. But where you trying to go with this? It's some SHIT you don't align with and I don't go against. You just reading the headlines. You don't see the fine print. You on some choosing side BS. I'm on some unified ish. It's bigger than your selfish agenda, and that's T.I. So here we go. Kanye West is preparing himself to sell a record. And when I say TMZ is the setup, TMZ is setting him up to get his record. And do you know what a setup is? Do you know what a setup is? He's setting himself up in order to cause the attention to the ideal of trying to sell his records. This is a business. And y'all cannot forget that this is a business. The entertainment business is just that. It is a business. And so the TMZ interview would set him up and put him in a position to begin his campaign to sell his record. That's what it is. Now at this point, let me pause for a second. We can get all emotional all we want about the topic now. But this is the reason for him to listen, as long as we have been listening to hip hop music, as long as we've been listening to Kanye West, as long as we've been listening to T.I., let me tell y'all something. Y'all may look at this conscious community as a small thing. And I'm going to give a little bit commentary real quick. Y'all may look at what they call the conscious community, because I don't believe it's the conscious community. Y'all may look at this, what we doing, as a small thing. And when I'm talking about what we doing, I'm talking about the likes as Amen Ross Squad, what's the other brother, Dagger Squad, Joel, Sidnetta, Kevin Gills, Canaland Moores. Y'all may look at all of this stuff as, man, we know about this, but who else? Well, let me tell you who else is watching. Hollywood is watching. Hollywood is watching. So it's not strange that a few years ago, Beyonce go and do like a Black Panther demonstration at the Super Bowl. It ain't strange that consciousness is starting to become the popular. Listen, who watches hip hop? Who has watched hip hop long as me? Hip hop is making a full rotation. Back in the day, and I'm gonna get into the presentation in a minute, but back in the day, hip hop started off on a conscious level. You know, Heavy D and the Boys, Salt and Pepper, Queen Latifah, all of them was wearing stuff with kente cloths and all of that. This gangster, crazy facade is running out of money. It ain't gonna continue to make money. So now the thing is to start to push the consciousness. The consciousness, but it's not a consciousness to wake you up. It's the consciousness that's being pushed to sell a record. This is all Kanye West doing. He's trying to sell a record. So let's first clear this up. Kanye West don't care nothing about you. That's first and foremost. He don't care nothing about you. You know what I mean? He don't care nothing about you. He don't care nothing about your ancestors. He don't care nothing about the slaves. He don't care nothing about the slaves yesterday or today. Let's be clear on that. Let's be clear on that. He does not care about you. But because he made the statement, I think the most honorable thing to do for the ancestors and for our people who are yet to be born is to put some respect on it. And when I say Kanye is right, listen to what I'm trying to say. Give me a chance, give me your ear, and let me show you what I'm talking about. So as I said, let me drop my screen down a little bit. As I said, Kanye West is doing this, it's business. It's not personal. It's business with him. It's all business. And now, this is another line in his song. Go to YouTube and look at Kanye versus the People. It's all a setup. His album is going to be politically charged in order to sell a record, but not to get you out of this crazy stuff that we have been in for the last few hundred years. It goes on to say the greater good of the people is first. Now that's T.I. Have you considered all the damage and all the people you hurt? You had a bad idea and you making it worse. This ish just as bad as the Catholic preachers raping in church. They don't care about nobody raping nobody in church. They don't care about none of this stuff. This stuff is entertainment to sell a record. Y'all been leading with hate. See, I just approach it different. Like a gang truce. The blood to shake up the Crips, to shake the Crips hand. And I know everybody's emotional. I know everybody's emotional. He knows everybody emotional. Is it better if I rap about crack, huh? Because it's cultural? Or how about I'm going to shoot you or F you, you know what I'm talking about? And how about all this Gucci? Because I'm effing rich? Y'all deal with God for a lack of respect. Start to make it seem like Donnie cut you a check. That's T.I. But this is all for entertainment. See, we got to get out our emotions. This is all for entertainment. And this is why on my page I said on my page that Kanye West is a genius when it comes to marketing. He don't care about your ancestors. He doesn't care about you. Just like he said Bush don't care about quote-unquote black people, neither do he. This is about selling a record. You know what I mean? This is about selling a record. But because, as my brother Hakeem Bey said, he causing us a real conversation because he have caused this conversation. Now let's get into the conversation. And that's the reason why I'm doing this show. Now let's get into the conversation. So, first of all, we already know that all of this is about selling a record. Let's be clear. This is a quote that he made on Charlamagne the God with the interview. He said, I wanted to talk about black perfection, like a black person can't be imperfect in the public eye. That's a form of control. I'm here to show you imperfection. He's here to engage your emotional state in order to draw attention to himself, in order to push his agenda. And his agenda is his brand and his product. Now, let's get straight to it. Kanye West says that it sounds like a choice. He didn't say it's a choice. He said it sounds like a choice. What you see right here is a sketch of supposedly the halls of a slave ship. That's what you're looking at. Supposed to be the hulls of a slave ship. Now, if this be true, that these slave ships, and let me tell you something, this wasn't drawn up the time after slavery. These hulls of these slave ships was drawn up in preparation to get slaves. This says, thanks to parliamentary survey that year, detailed measurement of Brooks were available. A group of Plymouth-based campaigners had accurate deck plans, cross-section, and side views. These ships right here were drawn up with the anticipation of going to get slaves. These are not the ships where as though it's the literal picture. These were drawn up. This was drawn up in the 1800s. So let's be clear. When you see, some people want to say, well, those are just pictures. Those are just pictures. But no, these were the diagrams that were used to say this is what we need in order to get our slaves on this boat wherever we got them from. We need to use this. And so let me say this. For the Moorish Americans who think that no slaves came across the Atlantic, you're slipping. Yes, slaves came across the Atlantic, and yes, majority of us was here. But let's not deny our ancestors who came across the Atlantic. We go too far with this stuff, that there is no boats. We can get into that conversation. That's another conversation. But we go too far with this stuff. Of course, slaves came across the Atlantic. Moors are too overzealous with some of this misinformation. Now, the point of the matter is, if this be true, I'm not saying that it's true. If this be true, on a picture like this that depicts, now this is just a painting, but let's just hypothetically say this is true. How is it that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this picture Europeans dominate our people? What we're going to do is get into the psychology of our people. That's what we're going to discuss. How is it that this many people are designed to fit on a ship that a ratio of probably 30-1, and yet we are going on this ship like this? So the question is, it sounds like a choice, but we're looking into the mentality. What mentality will allow a group of people, our people, we got to deal with facts. What mentality that have been brought on our people that will allow us to be put in a position to be subjugated to something to this magnitude? That's what we must examine. Now, the point of the matter is, whether all of the slaves came over the Atlantic or majority of them was here, really is not the topic of discussion today. The topic of discussion is what mentality allowed our people to be marched in the slave gallows or the slave castle of Ghana by the hundreds of thousands, the point of no return by the hundreds of thousands, and this lasts for hundreds of years. So this is the thing. One of the things I think we need to examine is the mentality, because he say it sounds like a choice. And listen, in the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali makes a statement. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali makes a statement. He says that if I can get you to think, you can save yourself. That's one. Number two, he makes another statement. He says that all people have suffered slavery by not honoring the principles as taught or laid down by their forefathers, and I'm paraphrasing. That's number two. Number three, the prophet says that we are creators and we create our own condition. That's number 4. And number 5, which is tops it all off, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali makes a statement, and it resonates with me. He says that in all the world, the one is truth, the other is falsehood. First of all, in order to deal with a problem, we have to recognize whether we're dealing with truth or whether we're dealing with falsehood. You know what I mean? Whether we're dealing with truth. Oh no, we're gonna get to that, man. You're missing the point. We did not have the same weapons as the cracker did. Hold on one second. We're gonna get into all that. One thing we're dealing with, the one is truth, the other is falsehood. For us to be put in this predicament, something had to take place within our psyche to let us go with it. Listen to this. Before slavery, right? Before the institution of slavery, Hannibal took thousands of troops on the back of elephants over the cold Alps, the mountains. You know what I'm saying? Over the cold Alps. When they got over the Alps, he said to them, kill the elephants because we here to stay. So, what am I saying? We were such a courageous people. We were courageous. Many people died on that expedition over the Alps. But because we were so courageous, we didn't care about death. We knew the science of death. Yet, after the expulsion, brother, the elephants died. Most of the elephants died. And if you read the historical record, they took a lot of the elephants out there military. Oh yeah, and the boats were burned. That's General Tariq. Most of the elephants died because they couldn't handle the cold. But that's another story. So the point that I'm making is that we were so courageous. But when slavery happened, our courage was gone. Our courage was gone, and we did not stand up and fight. Now the question becomes why. So when Kanye make a statement that it sounds like a choice, he didn't say it was a choice. He says it sounds like a choice. Appreciate you, Hakeem Bey. He said it sounds like a choice. Why does it sound like a choice? Because you and I know, if we're standing, let's do an example. If we're standing on the block and we in the low and we selling some work and the police come, it could be 50 of us, but only 20 people make you this. I mean, it could be 50, but maybe 5 will make the whole people disperse. You see, and I'm not saying that you buck against the authority like that, because that's not the point that I'm making. I'm saying that the mentality of our people obviously took a shift. Now, when we look at these gallows right here, our people walked into these gallows and pretty much with probably muskets to their head. But again, what happened to our courage? Because do you know how long it takes to load a musket? Our courage, if our people, and I'm not justifying, or I'm just giving my thing of what Kanye said. Kanye said that it sounds like a choice. He never said it was a choice. He said it sounds like a choice. And because we so emotional, we don't know what sounds like it is a choice is. And it does sound like a choice. It does. When you look at what it takes to load up hundreds of people, if that scenario is true, what it takes to load up hundreds of people on a ship, everybody should have went crazy. Everybody should have went crazy. But something happened with the mentality. that allowed them to not go bonkers when they was going on this ship with chains on them. So when you look at something like this is one of the Arab ships of 1868 with all the children. Now, when we're talking about the children and something like this, we have to be sympathetic. But what were the parents doing at this time? I'm talking about the mentality again. See, this is how I look at life. I believe that we must take responsibility for the part that we played in some things. You know what I mean? We must take responsibility for the part that we played in some things. So the question is, what part did we play? What part did our ancestors play? We can deal with this European. We can deal with this European in a second. But what part did our ancestors play? Until we acknowledge the part that our ancestors played. Where these Moors get people so emotional. And these Black Power brothers get people so emotional saying the Moors enslaved somebody. And they want to accuse the Moors of enslaving somebody when that scenario is false. That scenario is false. We can deal with this European, but we got to deal with the part that we played. Ain't no European go up on this continent and manhandle nothing. And now listen, man. Before this European threw the Moors out of Spain, we was the most dynamic, we was the most courageous, we was the most strongest people on the face of the earth, and no one could conquer us. So when Kanye say it sounds like a choice, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali says that all people have suffered slavery due to disobedience. What does he mean, disobedience? We lost the way of our divine self by chasing after this European. And today, we doing the same thing. Today we doing the same thing. But check this out. How does those babies get on this boat? You mean tell me that if we looked on a bus today and seen a bunch of babies in chains, and if we don't fight to get them babies on the boat, we gonna, off that bus, we gonna say that it's not a choice? Somebody was supposed to be fighting to get them babies off that boat. Why didn't they? Something happened with the mentality. And that's what we must deal with. It sounds like a choice. Whether it's an educated or an uneducated choice, it sounds like a choice. Somebody supposed to get them babies. That's the fact of the matter. And see, all of this old watered down stuff, I don't deal with. And there we go again. I understand what you're saying, but we didn't have weapons. No, we had numbers. Let me tell you what this European did in the Civil War. Do you know that this European was so steadfast on trying to preserve his freedom when they had the war against the North and the South that they was walking into gunfire? The front line was there to walk into the gunfire. I live in Maryland. I'm in Baltimore. And they got a reenactment at Fort McHenry. And these Europeans, they will go from the north to the south, and they will walk into gunfire to stand for what they believed in. And guess what? Today, the North won, no matter how many passed away. No matter how many people passed away, the North won. So the mentality is that we got to get away from that punk mentality. Excuse my expression. Well, they had weapons. Man, listen, the North and the South, the war, the Revolutionary War, the first war with those colonies, where is our courage? Where is our courage? Huh? Where is our courage? Where's our courage? We using excuses. How are we going to use excuses that they have more weapons? We have more people. We have more people. I encourage somebody to go and look at the Civil War reenactments. Go and look at the Civil War reenactments. They didn't care about the South, and the South didn't care about the North having weapons. They walked into their muskets. They walked into them because they believed in their freedom. Why didn't we believe in our freedom? So if Kanye West say it sounds like a choice, I concur. It sounds like a choice. But now we must dig deeper into the mentality and ask ourselves, why was that a choice? See, we don't want to deal with the mentality. We don't want to deal with the mentality. We don't want to deal with the mentality. We want to deal with just laying down because we still slaves. We still slaves in 2018. We still slaves. We don't want to deal with the mentality. We want to deal with the old mushy stuff. And if people in the Moorish Science Temple of America, which I don't think they do, but these offshoot Moorish groups trying to deny our ancestors coming across the Atlantic, they need to stop that too. I believe that majority of the slaves that were enslaved were already here. But we're not going to sit back and deny our ancestors over the Middle Passage. We need to stop that too. So, the brother said, I feel you with the numbers, but you need weapons to kill and to win wars. Not when you got numbers. When you got numbers and you got faith and you got strength and you got hope and you're courageous like your ancestors were, you don't need all them guns because they didn't have, we had them, there was a mismatch. Enough of them couldn't fit on the ship to balance out and make an even balance. It was a mismatch. But this, what you're looking at on the screen now, was one of the books or diaries that was filled out to go across the Atlantic. So the Atlantic trade happened, and I'm gonna deal with these boats soon. For all of these Moors nationals that think there wasn't no boats, I'm gonna deal with that soon. Again, as Tyrone just said, the Haitians was outgunned. See, nobody wants to deal with the mentality that brings us to the point to take a beating laying down. Nobody wants to deal with the mentality. But me, I'm going to deal with the mentality. So, again, Moors, we need to stop saying that the slave trade didn't happen. Let me explain something to you. Let me go into it real quick. This right here is an advertisement. And this is for the Moorish American National that always so quick to say that the slave trade didn't happen. Or maybe I hope they're saying that it didn't happen like they said it. However they're saying it, we got to stop denying our ancestors. Our ancestors that took that trip. Our ancestors that took that trip. You see, we got to stop denying our ancestors. Too many of these Moor nationals is denying our ancestors. And we ain't going for that either. Of course, Moors was here. Of course, our people were here. But we not going to deny our ancestors. We ain't going to do that. So what you're looking at is an article to be sold on board of the ship Blanche something on Tuesday, the 6th of May. Next at Albany Ferry, a choice cargo of about 250 fine, healthy Negroes just arrived from the Windward and Rice Coast. What is the Windward and Rice Coast? As late as 1940, the quote-unquote Black American linguists found gulas in the Royal South Carolina. Listen, family, this is for the Moorish American National. In Georgia, who could recite songs and fragments of stories in Mende and Ba, who could do simple county and Guinea and Sierra Leone dialect of Fula. Family, those Moorish nationals that try to deny our people, that saying they didn't come over on a slave trade, they are in error. I'm not saying that all of us came over here on this boat, but we're not going to sit up here and deny those that did. Because right here, there is research that shows that the people over there in South Carolina and in Georgia is using dialect of Fula, which is of Guinea and Sierra Leone. So we're going to put this to bed. Why is it that we want to divide ourselves from our people? The people that was here and the people that came here are the same people, and we ain't denying none. Not in my temple, not on Moorish World TV. They are our people. In fact, all of the African texts that Gula people have preserved are language spoken within Sierra Leone and along its borders. This is why I told y'all that I would debate SETI, I would debate Pharaoh, because the commentary that they did, the commentary that they did would say that we only believe, that Moors believe that we didn't come from Africa. Well, no, that's not what the Moors believe. That's what these pseudo-Moors believe. But that is not the gospel as taught by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. It goes on to say, the connection between the Gula and the people of Sierra Leone is a very special one. Sierra Leone has always had a small population, and Sierra Leone slaves were always greatly outnumbered on the plantation by slaves of more populous parts of Africa, except in South Carolina and Georgia. The rice plantation zone of coastal South Carolina and Georgia was together in large enough numbers and over a long enough period of time to leave significant linguistic and cultural impact. What is this saying? Family, this is what I try to explain to people about when we're talking about the Moors that descended from the ancient Canaanites. And these pseudo scholars of so-called Kemetic science persuasion, they don't understand that the ancient land of Canaan, it consists of the land of Ethiopia, the Nile Valley, Saudi Arabia, and this is the point that I'm gonna make. The European put the demarcation line, but when you look at the horticulture, or you look at the linguistics or the language of the natives, it all agrees. Beyond these borders, and it's the same, the Sudan exactly, and it's the same thing with this. When you got slaves that is sending, when you got slaves in South Carolina and in Georgia that are speaking with a dialect from Africa, it only is common sense to say that they were brought from Africa. But as I said, but we cannot try to put everything in a melting pot as America and the Europeans try to do and say, yeah, nobody came from the shores of Africa. Where's the boats at? Where is the boats at? I'm going to give you a hint on this because I'm going to do a presentation on that soon too. Again, I tell you that most people don't even know the half of the scholarship that I know or my research, but I'm just going to give you a little bit. Family, the boats that were used during the time of slavery, those were business ships. In other words, they were cargo ships. In other words, when slavery was abolished, they moved on to the next product. Whether it was rice, whether it was grain, whether it was spices, they moved on to the next product. They rode the boats until the wheels fell off. So we don't see a lot of the slave ships today, but we can find quite a few of them, and I can point them out to you. But family, if these boats were used for cargo, if they were used for cargo and slaves were just a cargo, after slavery, they just grabbed another cargo and they rode the boats until the hulls fell apart. It was business. So stop yelling this crazy foolishness, and I will debate anybody on it. Plus, I will show you a few slave ships that have been found, especially on the coast of Florida, that have been found. But for Moors of the Moorish national persuasion, the pseudo persuasion to try to convince somebody that the slave trade didn't happen, you are in cahoots with this European 1,000%. You are in cahoots with this European 1,000%. You're talking about Kanye a sellout to deny your ancestors, and then you're going to try to justify it. That's right. I'm talking about Aleem Bey. I'm talking about Taj Tariq. I'm talking about all of these brothers. That's right. I dropped names, and I would challenge any one of them too. That's right. So it goes on to say, it says that the rice plantation zones of coastal South Carolina and Georgia was the only place in Americas where Sierra Leone slaves came together in large enough numbers and over a long period of time to leave a significant linguistic and cultural impact, while Nigerians may point to Brazil, Cuba, and Haiti, and places where Nigeria culture still is evident. Let's stop trying to separate ourselves from our people. The ones that was here and the ones that came over is one and the same. Sierra Leoneans can look to the Gulas of South Carolina and Georgia as kindred people sharing many common elements of speech, custom, culture, and cuisine. Let's stop denying our people. And I'm telling y'all, family, if y'all want true Moorish Science, true Drew Ali Moorish Science, then you need to watch Moorish World TV. All that other stuff is suspect. If they not a part of a temple, if they haven't studied the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, I'm going to tell you beware. That's all I'm going to say. The first thing you need to say to one of them is, listen, who is your elder? Who is your elder? Like, go to a brother like Cujo and ask him, who is your elder? Like in the streets, we like, man, hold up, who are you? Man, who can vouch for you? Ask these guys who they elders. And don't give me Taj because they met him online. Ask them who are their elders. And then you will understand why they talk like they do. Let's go to the next. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. So, again, this is speaking about the sister Gula. It says, Miss Queen Ellis of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, making a Gula basket. This is 1976. I'm just trying to make the point that we got to stop denying our people, especially these pseudo-Moors. When these pseudo-Moors try to deny our people, man, come on, man. Go do the research, and you ain't got to show them no boat, but show them that the Gulus are a distinctive group of quote-unquote black Americans from South Carolina and Georgia in the southern United States. They live in small farming and fishing communities along the Atlantic coastal plain and on the chain of the Sea Islands, which runs parallel to the coast. Because of that geographical isolation and community life, the Gula have been able to preserve more of their African cultural heritage than any other group of black Americans. Go see the Gulas. If you think the slave trade ain't happened, they speak Creole language similar to Sierra Leone Creole. Creole. Use African names, tell African folk tales, make African-style handcrafts such as basket carves, walking sticks, and enjoy rich cuisine based on primarily rice. The point of the matter is that we have to stop. We have to stop allowing people to try to dictate what we believe. That's the pseudo, that's the setup. So back to Kanye West. Kanye West said, it sounds like a choice. Okay. Sounds like a choice. It is a choice. It's something different. Let's look at Kanye West's father. Kanye West is very strategic. Did anybody know that Kanye's father was a Black Panther? Kanye West's father was a Black Panther. And if his father was a Black Panther, which he was, he had some form of knowledge or what we will call consciousness. He has some form of consciousness. Whatever degree of consciousness that he have, that's up for debate. But we cannot deny that he has some form of consciousness. Yet, why now does he choose to talk about this sort of thing? Remember, follow his trend. He started up with college dropout. And he went from college dropout His whole thing was that he really didn't need college because he's intelligent, and he rode that theme for a minute. He went from that to the he went for that to I guess to being the Louis Vuitton Don, as he would call himself, and then he get into fashion, and now because the cultural thing is being hot. Let me say this again. When you look at Black News 102, Moorish World TV, Canaan Land Moors, and you look at that, all of these little programmings that speaks to the conscious ideal, man, I'm telling you, this is a popular thing right now. And guess what? Hollywood want in. And that's why you see, again, Beyonce did the joint at the Super Bowl, but they're a bit conscious, for real. That's why they stepped away from Kanye West. The thing at the Super Bowl, because they know what's coming. It's time for the awakening. And now they're going to try to commercialize it. They're going to try to commercialize it. They're going to try to commercialize it and make money of it. This is why T.I. a few years ago at the awards was wearing the Black Panther outfit and did the Black Panther routine. They know that it's coming, but now they're going to try to commercialize it to confuse you. Because see, Kanye West's father was a Black Panther. So he has some form of consciousness. He has some form of consciousness. You follow what I'm saying? So we can't deny that this brother is being strategic. He's being strategic. Here we go. Let's look at some of the Kanye West quotes. We can't deny that he's being strategic. He says, I know this is going to cause an uproar. He's being strategic, and we falling right into it. But wait till I break it down towards the end. I know that this is causing an uproar, but certain icons, it's just too far in the past not to be relatable. And that's what makes them safe. They'll let you go up on the Grammys. Listen what he said, they'll let you. They'll let you go up on the Grammys and talk about slavery and all of that racism because they're not talking about buying stock. It's not talking about buying property. You know, complain as hard as you want on the platform, but ultimately, it's not scary. When people start invoking things like slavery and racism that has never talked about that before, beware. They are setting themselves up. You may think this is good commentary, and I think it's great commentary, but in reality, he is setting himself up for the album release, and it's going to be, this is how Kanye's a sellout. He's being paid to commercialize consciousness. That's just what it is. I mean, that's just what it is. He's being paid to commercialize consciousness so you won't be able to wake up. This is what it is. At the end of the day, everybody is starting to become aware of who we are and where we need to go. And the only way that can be stopped, it must be commercialized. And it must be just secondhand talk. Naptown in the building. What's up, James Mosby? It has to be commercialized. And that way, you won't get your awakening. But we're going to wake up anyway. Because people like me going to say, yeah, you know what? Kanye do got a point. It does sound like a choice. He didn't say it is a choice, but it sounds like a choice. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like a choice. And I'm going to show you why I say that in a minute. Kanye West already showed us what he wants out of life. He doesn't care about your slavery. He doesn't care about his ancestors' slavery. He doesn't care about the mental slavery that we now find ourselves with. Listen, a few weeks ago, this is his quote, a few weeks before Kim's robbery, I had done a fashion show, and I was 45 minutes late. Soon as I was 45 minutes late, I felt it was the fashion community getting the right to say. Now, whoever have the right to say N-word without saying it? To be like, yo, you know, come on through, stepping on necks and all that. But if you get out of line, boy, we gonna roast you. And it affected me because I'm an artist. It's like all of these things were set up to put me on meds. Now we know this is a little bit quacky. This is a little bit quacky. But the point of the matter is, Kanye West is creating the condition. The Prophet Noble Ali said, when the ethers change, the conditions change. Kanye West is creating the condition to change the tide of hip-hop. And not only change the tide of hip-hop, to change the tide of pop culture. They are moving into the direction to politicize and commercialize pop culture as it relates to consciousness. Notice when Meek Mill did the video on the phone. He did the video on the phone from jail. And Meek Mill was singing a whole new tune. He was talking about voting. He was talking about the plight in the community. He was talking about conscious, relevant issues from the phone in prison. I'm telling you, whether you like it or not, these celebrities, these entertainers, they are moving to the area of commercializing consciousness, so it'll be a blurred line so people cannot receive what they need to develop the best in them and to bring out the God in them, because the lines will be blurred through entertainment. I'm trying to tell you. But it's going to be up to us, whether it's Black News 102, whether it's Moorish World TV, and all of these internet platforms, all these internet conscious platforms. They're going to have to stop beefing with one another, acting like it's a real beef going on, and they're going to have to work together, because Hollywood is coming for this market. This is a market, and they know it. They know it. They coming for this market. They are preparing the way. These Europeans, they think 5, 10, 20, 30 years down the line. They are coming for this market. So when you got somebody like SETI, for example, he's coming at the Moors. He's coming at the Moors, unprovoked. No Moorish American never came at him or Pharaoh, unprovoked. I'm telling you right now, don't be surprised if SETI get a reality show and sell his soul just a step further. And don't be surprised. You know what I mean? Or if somebody who acts like SETI comes on a reality show. I'm talking about somebody that acts like SETI. He's cussing, he's screaming, he's talking that he got knowledge. I'm trying to tell you. He's talking like he got the ultimate truth and ain't nobody else right and everything else is dead. I'm trying to tell you, you better be careful, because if it's not SETI, they are going to create a SETI, and they're going to manufacture a SETI, and they're going to take this consciousness ideal to Hollywood, and they're going to turn it into money and keep you confused. That's just what it is. I'm telling you, I pay attention, and I'm asking you to pay attention. So when I say it's Kanye, right? Kanye got a point. Is it a choice? Let's go. Here he go again. He goes here. Kanye done already chose what he wants. See, we can't even act like Kanye care about anything that concerns us. He already done chose. He got his European, you know what I mean? Listen to what he said. So many people around me said, don't express your feelings. Your brand. You hear that? Don't express your feelings. This is a quote from the interview with Charlamagne the God. Don't express your feelings. Your brand. Because people, first thing they'll say is racism. They say, well, what makes George Bush any more racist than Trump? And my response is, racism is a deal breaker for me. If that was the case, I wouldn't live in America. Listen, Kanye is just having conversation in order to market his program. He already made his choice. So let's stop acting like when Kanye make the statement, he was careful to say, it sounds like. Let's hear it one more time. Let's hear what he says before we get emotional. Let's hear what he say. Let's hear what Kanye say. Let's hear what he say real quick. Let's see exactly what Kanye said. Let's not hear what I say. Let's see what he said.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. That sounds like a choice. For 400 years, that sounds like a choice.
It sounds like a choice.
Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all. You know, like, it's like we're mentally in prison. I like the word prison because slavery goes to
and we are definitely in a mental state of servitude right now, without a doubt. So it sounds like a choice is accurate. It sounds like a choice is accurate. He didn't say it is a choice. He said it sounds like a choice. And it does sound like a choice, and I'm going to show you why as I finish up in the next 15 minutes. He's already chose his European woman. He already chose what he thinks beauty is. He good. When he look at beauty, this is what he sees. No matter how many films she did and did stuff with that mouth on film, he love it. He already showing who he is. So let's not act like he has a concern about us. He has no concern about us. He has none whatsoever. I mean, he had and have no concern about us. Let's be clear about that. So let's stop acting like because somebody's speaking on Kanye West and that he's right or wrong, he's a free thinker. No, he's marketing for his new album. That's it. This is what he wanted your children to wear a few years ago. That didn't kick off. Kanye been sold his soul. He been sold out. Any man that puts on a skirt in the name of fashion, man, come on, man. It don't take a rocket scientist. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. He been sold out. So let's not feed into the conversation as if Kanye West have something significant to say. It's a scam. It's a scam. Kanye West is scamming the people. He chose what he want right here. You see him? Look at that blank stare. So this segment is basically just to show you. Kanye West don't think mama beautiful or his grandmama beautiful. He could care less. He don't want that. So of course he's not selling you nothing that's significant for you. He's not showing you what's beautiful. He's not showing you something. He's not telling you something that'll help you. Everything he says is the agenda and suspect. And we need to be clear on that. Everything that he says is an agenda and suspect. And we need to be clear on that. We need to be clear. So when Kanye West make the statement, I thank you, Kanye West, because now we're going to have a conversation. We're going to have a conversation about the responsibility that we played. You know what I mean? About the responsibility that we played in the past. So we won't continue to make those about the own. We got to own our portion. Because look, when you see a plantation like this, all of these slaves right there, and I don't know what the ratio was from European to Asiatic, so-called black to so-called white, I don't know. But when you look at all of these numbers, there's nowhere in the world they should have been walking in the field. Man, we might have, listen, people say, okay, they had guns. It was a choice of life and death. Well, I mean, hey, look, they just going to have to be buying more cargo. Because at some point, we were unable to muster up. We were unable to muster up what it would take to combat this European in the proper way. But now, this conversation is about today in actuality. Watch what I bring it to. When we look at our people right here, we look at all of our people right here, and we got this one European in this Civil War outfit. And there's probably a few more plantations down the road. Family, if we sit up here in 2018 and you tell me that they had guns, that it was life or death, we still not ready to be free. Today, we still not ready to be free. You understand? But when we start to make excuses by not rebelling, when we start making excuses by not being tortured, when we start making excuses to watch our woman have her belly cut open and a baby dropped on the ground, when we start making excuses that it's okay to take the children and sell them to another plantation, when we start to say that it's okay, in honor to the ancestors who had the fortitude to try to think this thing through, honor to the ancestor who had the mental fortitude to just resist. Because some did resist. However, not enough to resist. And so when Kanye said, looks like a choice to me, when I look at these beautiful brothers and sisters of African descent and this one European standing right there, man, I'm telling you. And I just said that everyone didn't accept slavery, some fought back. But we're dealing with the comment that Kanye says, that it sounds like a choice. And we got to understand. Come on, we got to open our mind up. What does sound like a choice and is a choice? If we were just right here, right? If we were just right here and seeing this picture, and we say that one European right there got all of us hemmed up. But how did we get there in the first place? How did we get there in the first place? Oh, we about to get there, Kevin. We about to get there, Kevin Brasher. Watch this. We almost there. Stick with me. Again, look at our people. Look at our beautiful people. We got complacent and we got comfortable. Look at my brother chilling. Look at, he's still swagged out. Honor to the ancestors. Honor to the ancestors. Look at the sisters with the hand on her hip. Sassy too, you know what I mean? Honor to them. But nevertheless, we addressing the mentality. That's all we addressing. We not caring about Kanye West. We addressing the mentality. Look at our people. Look at our beautiful people. You know what I mean? Look at our beautiful people. But what was the mentality? Now let me show you this. Family, when Kanye West says it sounds like a choice, this is Joshua John Ward. Joshua John Ward. Now, we talk about none of them had a gun, brother. We get that. Okay, we get that. Mental slavery is stronger than any other physical slavery. We get that. You know what I mean? But let's talk about John Joshua Ward. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we're going to get into that in a minute, Brother Marshall L. When we look at John Marshall Ward, he had 1,092 slaves. Now, I don't know how much staff he had. I don't know how many guns he had. But it says in 1860, he had 1,131 slaves. Do we know what 1,100 people look like? Huh? Do we know what 1,100 people look like? This European owned 1,100 of our people. And 1,100 people. Now, I don't know all the conditions. I don't know the whole situation. But 1,100 people is a lot of people. 1,100 people is a lot of people. And it takes, back then, you ain't loading no musket 1,131 times. Not that fast. 1,100? So when Kanye says it sounds like a choice, you got to look at the position he's coming from, although he's marketing. Now let's move up to today. In today's time, family, when we look at the prison population, not saying that I want anybody to buck the prison system, but this is 2009 of the population of prisons in the United States, the ratio of what they have put in the color scheme. I ain't gonna get into trying to black, white. I ain't getting into all that right now. I'm just pulling this offline to make a point. Even in today's numbers, when you look at, and this is only an example, and I'm not trying to encourage anybody to do anything crazy. When you look at the numbers of how many people escape from prison, the numbers are majority Europeans. That also speaks to our mentality. That also, why is it that whenever you hear about someone escaping from prison, it's always Europeans? I'm not asking anybody to escape. I'm not saying overthrow anything. But let's deal with the mentality. What mentality to make that majority of Europeans escape from captivity, but we accept it? I'm talking about the mentality. This is what, so when Kanye said it sounds like a choice to me, come on, I employ anybody. I employ anybody. I employ anybody to go ahead and do a research. But it doesn't matter. See, the Negroes have nowhere to run. What are you talking about? The mentality is that I am not going to be subjected under these cruel conditions. Give me liberty or give me death. I mean, so I'm just speaking of the mentality, family. It's not making a, when you look at, again, the numbers. You look at the numbers, and this is 2010. We are supposed to be 13% of the population, which I don't agree with that. I think we're more than that. However, we're 40% of the incarcerated population. But now check this out. It say the national incarceration rate is 2,306 per 100,000 people. We're looking at the numbers here. When we look at the numbers say that we overwhelmingly outnumber our captors. Inmates to officer ratio can give a glimpse to how many correctional officers are staffed in various facilities. Since there is no one number fits them all when it comes to city county jails, however, estimates of inmates to officer ratio can be more elusive due to many factors that may be considered, including different jail sizes, type of inmates, and frequency in which inmates move through local jail system, according to the NIC. Still, in 2006 reported, till the census of jail facilities, the Bureau of Justice Statistics estimated that the average ratio of inmates to officer in jails nationally was 3.3 to 1, or equivalent 10 officers to every 33 inmates. Not saying I'm asking anybody to do anything crazy. What I'm saying is, again, it's the mentality. It's the mentality that we don't move. And why? Huh? We don't move, and why? Let's get to the next one. What you're looking at here, right, is the census of the slave trade in 1860. 1860, a consensus was conducted in the United States starting July 1st, 1860 and lasted 5 months. It's determined that the population of the United States to be 31. I believe that these numbers are inflated in order to try to not to make the awareness of how strong we really are. Even today, I don't trust the census. But the point that I'm making is an increase of 35.4% over 23,191,875 persons enumerated during the 1850 census. The total population included 3,900,000, and this is what they say they accounted for, representing 12.6% of the total population. Now, when we look at these Europeans, all of the Europeans didn't own slaves, obviously, However, the ones that did, they own a mass majority of the wealth. There's no different than just like now. The Walmarts, the Home Depots, the McDonald's, the Microsoft, they own majority of the wealth. However, you don't see whereas though our people, outside of Nat Turner, if you will, in large numbers, putting our numbers to practice to overcome this. And so the point that I'm making with that is Kanye West. He says it sounds like, and now let's get to the point. One more time, let me hear Kanye West, because he didn't say what we said. We said he said.
400 years. For 400 years, that sounds like a choice. That sounds like a choice. For 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all?
Come on now.
Like we're mentally in prison. I like the word prison because slavery.
We are mentally in prison. Which pulls me to my next scene. How many of us depend on a European system for a job? It's like we're mentally in prison. How many of us? And this includes me too. How many of us? How many of us depends on a European system for a job? How many of us depend on a European food system for the distribution of food? How many of us depend on a European educational system for us and our children? How many of us depend on European technology communication for our economics? This is a form of slavery, family, including you and I. So what's the solution? The solution is we got to stop playing. We got to stop playing. We got to stop playing and come together, because we all are caught up in this new age slavery. I could not be broadcasting this to you right now. If the European decide I'm going to shut down YouTube, me and you cannot communicate. We are still in the throes of slavery right now, so how can Kanye be wrong? Because we're choosing it right now. When are we independently putting together a team to create our own communications? When have we put together a team to create our own independent use food distribution? We are still in it. So we can't get mad at Kanye West. We can't get mad at Kanye West because he says it sounds like a choice to me. We are making the same choice today. We are making the same choice today. So how in the world can you be mad at Kanye West? I said to everybody, I'm starting a Moorish village so we can centralize our economy, so we can centralize our educational system, so we can centralize everything that we need to do to become independent. I don't get that much support from outside of the immediate group that I'm a part of. So we can't get mad at Kanye West. Sounds like a choice to me. We are making the same choice today. The same exact choice. We are making a choice today to stay right up here underneath the slave master. So the Prophet Noble Drew Ali makes a statement. He said, we of the Moorish Science Temple of America, like countless other American citizens, know that we must live together here in America in harmony, friendship, and goodwill. Whatever our race or creed may be, it is only from a purely religious standpoint at this time that we differ from a large number of fellow Americans. We believe in and foster a Muslim religion. But let me go down. It says we are interested in freeing ourselves and our children of our greatest plight, economic slavery. Everything that I just spoke about, on the last screen, it hinges upon economic slavery. How many of us depend on European for jobs? How many of us depend on European for food distribution? How many of us depend on European for educational system for us and our children? How many people of us depend upon European for technology and communications for our economics? The Prophet Noble Drew Ali said that one of our greatest plights is economic slavery. Economic slavery. Economic slavery. And so when I put together an idea and say, man, support it, I'm gonna tell everybody, go Google the Moorish Village program. Google the GoFundMe. See how many people want to support it. You know what I'm saying? See how many people want to support it. We don't even want to start the journey of 1,000,000 miles. We don't even want to start the journey of 1,000,000 miles. You know what I mean? This is unbelievable to me. We get mad at Kanye West. You know what I mean? We get mad at Kanye West, right? But at the same time, we don't even recognize a good organizer. We don't recognize a good organizer as it relates to taking us to the next level. We don't recognize it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell everybody. I employ everybody to take a Google the Moorish Village, look up the Moorish Village or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put the GoFundMe up here. Maybe you can just go read on it. But I'll explain to you what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? But the point of the matter is, nobody is making any motions to move forward as a group of people. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is using that common sense. You know what I mean? Hey brother, Unc Ra, I don't work for no European. I don't work for no European, brother. You know what I mean? So don't say you Moors, brother, because if you make silly comments, I'm gonna have to get you up out of here. Now, let's go to what I say it agrees with the Prophet's teaching. As I get to the end, let me share this with you. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali and one of the editorials of the Moorish Guide 1928, he says, listen to this, and I'm not even going to get to the Negro, black, and color thing, but this is how we know that it becomes a choice, even to this day. He said the 14th and the 15th Amendment, it's in red, the 14th and the 15th Amendment. Matter of fact, I'm going to leave it up here so people can read it as I go. He says, the 14th and the 15th Amendment brought the North and the South in unity, placing the Southerner, who were at that time without power. Listen closely. With the constitutional body of power. And at that time, 1865, the free national constitutional law that was in force since 1774 declared all men free and equal. And if all men are declared free national Constitution to be free and equal. Since that Constitution has never changed, there is no need for the application of the 14th and 15th Amendment for the salvation of our people as citizens. Let's look at what the prophet means by that. The prophet Noble Drew Ali, see how somebody said the 14th Amendment made us slaves? The prophet Noble Drew Ali said, disregard all that. You was born free. But how many people live off of that standard? That you were declared equal and free, that you were born free. You were born free before 14th and 15th Amendment. So why do we think that the 14th and 15th Amendment freed us? Mentality. The prophet said it declared in 1774, it declared us equal and free. It declared man equal and free. Some people would say, oh no, that mean the white man. Oh no, that mean the European. No, it said it declared men equal and free. But even before they declared anything, you have to know that you're free. So the mentality is our people accepted it and did not fight against it, and it became the norm. It became the norm. And today it's the norm. That's right. Sir Bay, he said, but taught to get a job and be proud of it and look forward to retirement. That's what it was. So today we're doing the same thing. So Kanye can't be wrong, because today we do the same thing. It's a choice. Prophet Noble Drew Ali makes a statement. Allah never made heaven for man. He never made hell. We are creators and we make our own. Family, we got to take responsibility. Everything that we find ourselves in, family, we are partakers of it. Family, until we acknowledge that we played a role, we signed our consent form. We make the choice. We make the choice. Now, within that choice, it can get a little bit cloudy. Why did we make the choice? How did we get up out of this choice? How did it go so far? How did this get so out of hand? We can deal with that. We can deal with that. But at the end of the day, our ancestors was in cahoots, made the choice. At the end of the day, this European who is the minority could never pull this off without our people making the choice in some way, shape, or form. And then once we get into slavery, we become conditioned, whether it be by Christianity, whether it be by being docile, whether it be by fear, whatever it was, we better get it up out of us today. Because we are doing the same thing. We are suffering from mental slavery. We are doing the same thing today. This is the reason of this conversation. Not to worry about Kanye West. He got his European woman. He got his freedom. So he think. But our freedom must be eternal and internal. The prophet said, through sin and disobedience, every nation suffered slavery, due to the fact they honored not the creed and principles of our forefather. Family, knock, knock. Anybody home? That's a choice. That's a choice. Not following the creed of your forefathers is a choice. To sell your people into slavery is a choice. To be into slavery and not for, as Kanye used the term 400 years, family, 400 years is a long time. 400 years is a long time, family. Honor to our ancestors that endured, that we can be here. But this is a topic of discussion. This is not an emotional rant. This is a topic of discussion that we must talk so our children won't be asleep for the next 400 years. So our children won't be thinking that Tekashi is the way we should be moving. Y'all know Lord Tekashi, the little watered down European? This is the conversation that we have to have. And if people are scared to have the conversation, it's because they're scared to acknowledge the part that we played. And we can deal with that European later, but we got to fix home now. We can't even deal with that European unorganized. We unorganized. We unorganized. Oh yeah, he's trendy now, but those who say that they are, those who says that they are conscious, they can get organized. We can get organized. We can get organized. I'm trying to tell you, we can get organized. I've been trying to organize. I'm organizing on the ground here in Baltimore. Anybody in Baltimore can join me. You don't have to join the temple. I think it'd be a good idea because we can move on one rhythm. But hey, if we can organize in the streets, if we can organize politically, if we can organize economically, if we can organize socially, if we can organize in every way possible to break this thing. Man, we need some tech guys to put together some. Why can't we have our own thing like YouTube? All of these smart guys out there, all of these smart sisters out there. Come on, man. I'm telling you, man, we have to get organized and stop depending on the slave master. We are still in the state of subjugate. We are still being subjugated. We are still being treated as if we are still on the plantation, family. We are still being treated as if we are on the plantation. And I'm going to show you, family, the reason why this is a fact. The reason why this is a fact. Because whether it's me or whether it's you, in some way, shape, or form, I don't depend on the European system for a job. Not one way, shape, or form. I don't. I really don't. Not one way, shape, or form. However, guess what? Once I get my bread, I still go through the European economic the economic system as designed by the European. The capitalistic system. That's totally imbalanced, totally corrupt. But that's something we can work on down the road. And another thing, majority of us, whether somebody say, oh, we got a farm, we got this and that, majority of us still depend on the European food distribution centers. We still depend on the European food distribution system, whether we like it or not. We still depend on the European educational system as in a large numbers. And then we depend on today, which is critical. We depend on the technology. So these are some of the things that we need to organize ourselves. We need to organize ourselves and attack some of these critical things in our community, which I intend to knock them all down this year in my community to the best of my ability. And I'm asking everybody, if you in Baltimore, if you in Annapolis, if you in DC, if you in PG, Harford County, anywhere surrounding Baltimore, if you think your conditions can be better, holler at your brother. If you're not around these areas and you see the link to the Moorish village that will be a conglomerate of all of our people, an economic central location, support the Moorish village. Send $1, $2, $5, $20. Help me buy some paint. Send me a gift card or something. Email me a gift card so we can build some of these buildings up. So we can get this daycare running. I ain't talking about the daycare that the pseudo-pharaoh talking about, one in every state, and he's man, I'm not talking about that. So we got to do what we got to do, family. You know what I mean? We got to do what we do. Honor to the ancestors that endured, because that's all they knew. Because if it wasn't for them enduring, this is not a shot at them, because if it wasn't for them enduring, we wouldn't be here today to even have this conversation. So honor to the ancestors who endured. And may we all endure and get to the next level.
On the ground,
you know what I mean?
worse than a twerker. You look and sound good, but
let's
that's
endure so we all can get to the next level. You know what I mean? I'm gone, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Put on my headphones so I can hear what y'all talking about right here. Look at the chat real quick, man. That's right, it's 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast. I'm that more you gonna remember. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? That's right. It's a European Jew system. Call it what you want. That's right. Support the family. You know what I mean? Let's go. Let's go. What's up, family? Yeah.
Those that speak against the prophet, they speak against me. And I'm speaking about the prophet over Drew Ali, who was the first to find you and bind you back to Morocco, the mountains.
If anybody
and connect, told you wasn't black, proved it was straight back. You tripping off.
How y'all do? What's up? What's up, East Coast?
Acting like you a slave. The
See?
same people talk European.
Let me stop.
And looking at women buying
Moors help the Europeans. They tripping, man. Huh?
They got a love for Europe.
Man, y'all got a love for Europe, man. Listen, family, I'm going to do a show on the Moorish Village. Hope y'all stick with the channel. Hope y'all subscribe for alerts. Hope y'all thumbs up. Did everybody thumbs up? Everybody thumbs up for me. Come on, man. We're going to give y'all some real programming up here, man. We're going to learn something up here. And we're going to deal with today. Stop getting emotional. Kanye said it sounds like a choice. Well, today it sounds like a choice too. That. Yeah, I'm gonna block him. I think you a troll. I'm gonna block Pride 99. I don't need no donations, brother. I would like them, but I don't need them. But I'm gonna go ahead and block you. Where's your page? I need to go to your page and block you. That's what I need. I need to go to your page and block you. You ain't welcome here no more. There we go. Go to your channel and block you. I don't need you. You a slick antagonizer. You probably be a European. So I'm gonna get you up out of here once and for all, because you ain't bringing nothing constructive to this conversation. So you know, if you ain't bringing nothing constructive to this conversation, you up out of here. Thank you, family. I appreciate what you contribute so far, but you can't be in here with no solution and just crying. You know what I mean? So yeah, Unc Ron 99 is out. I will let him back in maybe next month to see, because I think he's playing the role. Let me tell y'all something, family. Let me tell y'all something. Hold up, one second. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna give a exclaimer before I roll out. One thing on Moorish World TV, I'm gonna tell you. I don't mind if you coming at me. I don't even mind if you call me a few names. I don't even mind if your views are totally adverse to mine. Now, the solution that I gave is that support the Moorish Village, and we will create the template, or we'll help you. We can work together. Reach out to me. Let's make something happen if you're in Baltimore. That's the solution. And I just said I'm going to do a show on the solution. Let me show you something. This brother, Unc Rod 999, he been in the show all night. And at one point, he was poking Pride with an idea that was totally adverse to what we're talking about. He came in talking about the sister. No, that was somebody else. I kicked him out too. But I think he was talking about the sister, the sister here from Baltimore that had the drug charge, whatever the case may be. Had nothing to do with the topic. This is how you know that these provocateurs can come under any name. And family, I'm telling you, we got to watch these people. The moment someone comes into a chat and they start to say things that has nothing to do with the conversation, they don't have no solution, and they just keep prodding and prodding and prodding, they got to go. Because I'm telling you, we don't need to take no chances. I'm not pressed for 1,000 viewers. I'm not pressed for 5,000 or 100,000 or millions. I'm not tripping. It always was the small numbers that got things done. So I'm not tripping off of that, nor am I tripping off YouTube money. And that ain't my thing. You know what I'm saying? So the point of the matter is that if you are watching this and if you come in here antagonizing or being a provocateur and you're not bringing any solution and you just keep on prodding with stuff that has nothing to do with the topic, you can almost best believe I'm gonna get you up out of here because I could care less. I mean, you're not contributing. All you doing is starting some confusion. So somebody said, what's up with them vacant houses in B-More? Brother, the vacant houses in B-More are still here. I've recently, me and the Moors recently acquired one for the Moorish Village. Like I said, it's going to be a central location to centralize our finance. I'm going to be reaching out to my brother Nagas, so I can get some of them tennis shoes up out there, my brother Tariq. And we're going to centralize our location so we can get some finances going for all of those who think their conditions can be better. You know, this summer is going to be a fire summer, man. And I'm telling you, people might don't like the Moors. People might have a bad taste in their mouth about the Moors because of what they seen online and what these pseudo Moors has misrepresented for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. They might have a bad taste in their mouth, but this is not that Moor. I'm not that Moorish American. I'm a real type brother. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna tell you nothing, no lie. Matter of fact, the brother Third Eye Wisdom, he asked me about the $1 house. Let me break that down to you before I get out of here. You know what I'm saying? So Third Eye Wisdom, this is how the $1 house go. This is how that European play this game. Check, peep game. Peep game. So what they do is, they say they got these $1 houses. I mean, hey, brother, Dean Neutron, you can meet me at taharkabay@yahoo.com. I'm super busy, but, brother, I'm going to get to you. So check this out. So they got these dollar houses in Baltimore, and they've been advertising them. And what they doing is they working towards it. They trying to soften the people up to keep putting it on a bill. So right now what happened is no one is biting the dollar house idea. But that's how they did with the lottery. That's how they also did with the stadiums. And that's how they did with the gambling casino here in Baltimore. They'll keep putting it on the bill, putting it on the bill, putting it on the bill. But now when you hear dollar houses, you like, wow, dollar houses. That's just like when you see a dollar store. Like, wow, dollar store. But now here get the hustle how the European work. They have already prepared for the European to move in and regentrificate the areas. And in a lot of these areas, the government is not even, the Baltimore City government is not even letting go a lot of these abandoned houses. They have blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks. I was 6 months looking for an area in order to purchase some homes in order to have Moors to live together or conscious people to live together, whether they Moors, Kemetic, it doesn't matter, Hebrew, just positive country people to live together. And I was in the Park Heights area. And in the Park Heights area, the whole area is out there. You know what I mean? At city council, on the city council level on the bill. They bring it to the city council. They got to pass it through the city council. That's what I mean. So anyway, so I'm trying to get in these houses. They rows and rows of houses. I can't find out who own the houses. When I find out who own the houses, I find out the city owned them on a tax lien, and then on a on the tax lien. Hey, the gas, I'll be in Syracuse soon, brother. I try to find them on the tax lien, and then I begin to find them. But now the trick to that is some of them, they not letting go. But now within the outer structure, or not the infrastructure, the outer structure, they're fixing up these areas. The sidewalks are being paved. They put new monkey bars. They got even exercise equipment out there. And I'm like, man, you can't get these houses, but why are they picking up this area like this? And then they went to city council, and I went to the meeting, and I found out what it is. Here it goes. I go to the meeting, and this is how it worked with the dollar houses. First of all, the way they explained it at the city council meeting is that, first of all, you got to send their estimators out. And when you send their estimators out, they're going to give you an estimate of how much it costs. So you got to send Islam to HakamBay@yahoo.com. Send me the email, GS. Honey Mason, Islam. So the demonstration is that, okay, you got to send their estimators. You got to send their plumber, their certified plumber from the city. You got to send their carpenter. You got to send their electrician. You got to send their roofer. You got to send their structural engineer. Now, once you send that structural engineer and all them people, they're going to give you an estimate of what it costs to get this house up to standards. Now, once they give you that estimate, their people, now you know they're going to give you a retail value. This is not a hustle value. They're going to give you retail value. Once they give you that, now you got to go and apply for a loan in order to fulfill the work that need to be done. Now you can almost believe that this loan is going to be every bit of 50, 60K. Now think about it. If one could afford 50 or 60K, they wouldn't be living in this rundown condition in the first place. So here's the scheme. Once you get the 50, 60K to rehab it, then they will sell it to you for $1. You know what I mean? They will sell it to you for $1. You can get a private contractor, but it got to be approved by the city council. You can. It got to be approved by the city council. You know what I mean? Now, the thing is this. They will sell it to you for $1. Now, here goes the catch. Once you buy it for $1, after you got to pay this loan back, you have to live in it for a minimum of a year. Here's the catch. The Europeans are going to start to regentrificate. It ain't get past city council yet, but when it does, the Europeans are going to come from the outskirts of the county areas. They are going to qualify for these loans. The sidewalks are already paved. I can do a live stream from there. The sidewalks, they got workout equipment and all of this stuff going up and down the walkways right now as I speak. And where I got the building at, where we got the building at, where the Moorish Village is going to be, right up the street from there is where they done fixed up everything. They done fixed up the subway system. They got a bus turnaround system. They done fixed up the train system. And they got workout equipment right running down the sidewalks in the grass area, big flower pots. And so within the next few years, how can we beat them to the move? I just did. I just got a spot over there. You know what I mean? For the location for the Moorish Village, Harlem Park. So what's going to happen in the next few years, they're going to keep putting it on the table at the city council. And then it's going to pass. These Europeans are going to come from the outskirts. They're going to get these loans, and they're going to live in there for a year. And then guess what? They got access to all downtown. So my job is to say we need to regentrificate. My job is to say we need to regentrificate. And that's why I came up with the Moorish Village. You know what I mean? The Moorish Village. So I need some help. But don't nobody, I mean, unfortunately, a lot of us, you know, when you look at the pharaohs and you looking at these Moors that been scamming, ain't nobody want to kick out no money. Don't nobody want to kick out no money. You know what I'm saying? I wish we could send $20 a piece. If everybody in this chat would give $20, man, one thing about me, you're going to see the results. You're going to see the results from me. I'm not going to come back and talk about, like, you're going to see the results. Like, I started this campaign last year. I put the GoFundMe up, and thanks to all the people who contribute. But in November, I said, by spring, I'm going to have the first building. Now, I don't know what all these other brothers and sisters are doing with their campaign to do something in the community, but it's spring and we got the first building. Now it need to be fixed up. I done went thousands of dollars in. My people didn't help me. The Moors helped me. Sympathizers have helped me. But now I'm pulling funds together now to fix it up. But I got confidence that once it's fixed up and once these business get in there, we gonna be okay. We gonna be okay. And once the few business get to flowing, everybody else gonna want in. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna let you in. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let you in. I think so how many houses so I know how much I need to get ASAP? The houses are so abundant. It doesn't make sense. Like, we have the most largest concentration of houses probably on the East Coast. You know what I mean? I wish I could let me see if I can screen share for you real quick. I'm going to see if I can screen share for you real quick. If y'all stick around for a second, I was about to leave. Let me see if I can screen share. I'm on this program. This is a serious program right here. So let me see if I can screen share with you real quick. All right, so we're going to go to Google. And I'm going to try to take you to Google Maps, and I'll show you what I did. Let me see if I can get you to Google real quick. And I'm going to go to 638 Fulton Avenue, 638 Fulton. Let's see if I can get you. All right. I hope y'all can see this. Y'all can see it. It'd be beautiful. Let me see if y'all can see this. Make sure y'all can see this. If y'all can see this, okay, yeah, y'all can see it. Okay, cool. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can get y'all to where I'm at. So this is, I'm gonna open this up a little bit. So here we go. I'm gonna go to Street View real quick, and I'm gonna take y'all around here, and I'm gonna show you. This right here, let me make sure y'all can see it. And I'm going to take y'all around the neighborhood. Take y'all around the neighborhood and show you what I'm putting forward. So what I'm doing, family, that's right. We allowed Harlem, New York, got regentrificated. And it did it right underneath their nose. It did it right underneath their nose. So this is where we at. Check this out. Check this out. So what I did was, after looking in the Park Heights area, I found this area. And I actually purchased this building right here. I have two people that's looking to purchase this building right here. The one beside it. This property right beside it. Hold up. Let me see if I can not move around so much. Okay, there we go. This property, this lot right there, we working on getting that lot. But so this is on the main thoroughfare, if you will. Oh man, I need to use this thing. I can't spin around with this, so let me spin around with this. So this is Harlem Avenue. So this is from the other view. Okay. Let me go up here real quick. So this is Fulton Avenue, right? So what you'll be able to see from Fulton Avenue is the side of the building. And for the first year to earn some revenue, it's going to be advertising on side of this building right here to try to earn. But it's going to be something that people will appreciate. Nothing filthy, liquor and all that foolishness. But this whole lot right there is what we plan to get. But I already got the first building right here. And we're going to gut this and we're going to reface this and we're going to make this thing do things, you know what I mean? And that's the headquarters right there. And the good thing is it's on a thoroughfare. Now, let me give you an example what this can look like. I got vision, and you have to have vision. Let me go down Fulton Avenue real quick. Walk with me real quick, family. When you look at these houses, these could be apartments, whatever, but we're not really focused on Fulton Avenue so much. What we're focusing on is the apartments or the houses behind it, not on Fulton Avenue, because Fulton Avenue is too much going on. You know what I mean? When I mean too much going on, it's too much traffic. Children, we need. So when you look at this right here, right? Hold up. Let me turn it around real quick. When you look at this right here, right? That's the wrong side. Right here. So here's a group right here that has bought some of these houses. And they fixed it up. So when you see these feet on the wall here, somebody got their money together and brought this one right here. Not only did they buy that, they bought one across the street. If you can look over there, there's some feet on the wall. That's their signature. But they're not a regular community. They just all for self and doing it for themselves. They got a tag and title company right there. These are apartments that they turned this into all apartments, which we're going to have 2 apartments, Moorish World TV Studios. And see right there, they got the tag and title company, and they got apartments right there. But this is just an example of what people have done with these places. They got a little eatery right there, Campbell's Kitchen, and they got apartments behind this, if you can see what I'm talking about. Wherever you see they got writing on the wall, they done bought these houses right here for a little bit of nothing, and they have moved people in there. But now, they move anybody up in them. However, what I'm saying is that we of conscious persuasion will live together. Let me show you this block right here. This block right here, this is not about trying to get people money. It's about trying to make money with the people. You know what I mean? And so this whole block right there is for the taking. This whole block is for the taking. You can get these a little under 10,000, some under 5,000. It's for the taking. I plan to go and try to take it. You know, this right here on the end, I want to try to get this one on the end right here and turn this to a restaurant, a vegan restaurant, right here. Let me turn it around for you, on the end, right here. I want to try to turn this to a restaurant. But see, what we're looking to is to get these houses on this block. There's a few on this block that's empty, you know, and one of them is up for auction and on the Fulton Avenue. And so we're planning on moving on this whole block. When you go down the end of this block right here, it's a bunch of empties on the end of this block where you see boarded up. They can be repaired easy. And the good part about it is it's by a school. That don't look like that anymore. It's by a school. And because it's by a school, that means that the crime we won't have to be dealing with too much crime, because we know things that's done by the school is going to be really monitored by the laws. And you know how our people, as we just talked about, they're going to obey this European, even if they don't obey us. So here's the same neighborhood. All of this is empties. These are businesses that we need to put up. So I'm not really concerned with trying to move everybody in right now. The first thing is to try to get businesses. Like I said, the gas, he got tennis shoes. We need tennis shoe stores. That's right. We don't need Foot Locker. You know what I mean? We need our own stores. We need to centralize. The Arabs and the Chinese, they sell all them T-shirts. We need to grab one of these houses, gut it out, and make it a centralized warehouse so all the brothers that want to print up T-shirts and sell T-shirts, sisters want to sell T-shirts, we got the centralized location for the T-shirts. But here we go. This is going to be headquarters. Now, you see it now. Now, wait till it's finished in 2 months. This is going to be done in 2 months. Matter of fact, I've already started gutting it out. You know what I'm saying? And again, this is going to be finished in 2 months. It's already started gutting it out. I already got the windows. But right now, I need paint for the front. You know, I need I don't need much drywall because I'm going to use exposed brick, but I want to make it look nice. I want to widen up this front door and make it handicap accessible. Upstairs is going to be apartments for conscious people, not just anybody, conscious people. We're going to try to get this lot right here so we can do community activism. And so, in other words, family, we got big things planned. And like I said, in November, I said we're going to step into it and get this thing done. I said that in November. I said in the spring, we're going to have something to show for what I say we're going to do. And guess what? Came the spring, we have it. Came this spring, we have it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to do a Umar Johnson, I need $1 million. I'm not trying to do a fake Pharaoh. We're going to have daycares all across the country. I'm not trying to do that. What I'm trying to do is start small. And spread out. If we can create the template, then guess what? It can be duplicated in every city. And so family, I'm going to tell you, I'm a different type of Moorish American. I rock with Moors, but if you ain't going to put your money where your mouth is and put your efforts where your mouth is, I ain't really trying to hear, I see you at the temple type. I'm not that type of brother. I see you at the temple for sure. But if we can't build on the ideal that we need to change the landscape, we need to change the environment that our people are living in, and not just people who wear fez. I'm talking about for all of those who think that conditions can be better. We need to create the condition so our people can come in and make it happen. I'm not the Moor that's tripping whether you join the Moorish Science Temple of America. I'm the one that's tripping to say, man, that's all you got is talk? Now we need a little more than talk, brother. That's where I'm at, man. Shout out to my brother, Dennis Assar Winkler, who does a lot of work here in Baltimore in the Kemetic community. Like he's the real Kemetic community. He ain't on YouTube trying to get some views and other. He's the real Kemetic community. Assar Winkler and his father and all the crew over there at Temple of New African Thought. They the real Kemetic community, you know. And brother Day Bay, yes, brother, I'm a contractor myself. That's what I do for a living. I do home improvement and I do property management, and I'm reaching out to people to join me and help to get this endeavor started. Like I said, if you can support the Moorish Village, you can Google it. You can go on GoFundMe. You can email me to talkabay@yahoo.com. You know, if you want to I tell you what. If you want to just send me if you want to send me a gift card to Home Depot because you feel as though people have been robbing people for so long, I take a gift card. You can buy the paint at the Home Depot. Email me at yahoo.com, talkabay@yahoo.com. You can buy it at the Home Depot, the local Home Depot, and I will go pick it up. I know how our people be robbing people. I know how Polite rob people. I know how SETI just gonna scream and yell for the next lecture. Pharaoh gonna rob people for this. Polite gonna for that. I understand that. And you might not trust for your money. So I'm telling you that you can go and buy the stuff online and just tell the people that I can pick it up. You can go fund me. I don't care. We just got to get the ball rolling. And if we don't get it rolling, our next generation is going to be saying what we said. What do we have? That's it. Know what I mean? What do we have? What have the Moors done for us? What have the Kemetic community done for us? What have the Black Power community done for us? What have RBG done for us? We ain't got no schools. We ain't got no stores. We ain't got. But guess what? We ain't got nobody trying to put up to help out. You feel me? So I'm asking everybody, if you are interested, support family. Like I said, I will be traveling this year. You're going to see me in your city this year, you know, and I'm going to be promoting the Moorish Village because it takes finance. You know what I mean? It takes finance. You know what I mean? Shout out to Hottie Mason. It takes finance, and in order for us to open up the door for our next generation, we got to put something on the ground. A lecture ain't gonna do it. A debate on YouTube ain't gonna do it. Me going back and forth with Taj Tariq. Let me tell you something. Brother Taj Tariq showed what he's gonna do for 30 years. He already showed. There is nobody can argue that. These Supreme Grand Sheiks and Grand Sheiks have showed what they are going to do for 30 years. They have shown, we have evidence of what they're going to do. So to follow some of this stuff, it's okay if that's what you choose to do. But let me tell you, we have a track record of what they're going to do. It's now up to us to do something different. And like I say, if you don't trust your brother because of what you have seen on the internet, that's okay. I understand. But at least you can do is say, brother, you can go pick up some drywall at Route 40 because I just ordered you 50 sheets. I ordered you some carpet down there at Carpet Fair. I ordered y'all some, you understand what I'm saying? And then once we get it started, we can invite our brothers and sisters in. Red pill and blue pill with some of them shirts that they got. Them fly shirts, you seen them before. Some of them hoodies. We can invite them in. We can name the store Red Pill, Blue Pill, Apparel or something. I don't know what they call it. Kings County. We can open a Kings County right there. All it takes is one of them. Every little row house in Baltimore. The foreigners turn into a cookout. The foreigners turn into a carryout. Sun Chinese food, Ming Chinese food, Ming carryout. Why can't I turn it to Kings County and sell some of that red and blue pill apparel? Why can't the gas headed shoes? That's what I'm talking about, family. I don't want to talk y'all to death, family. I'm up out here. If y'all ready to support. If you can't support now, support later. Thank you, and I appreciate y'all for joining me. I'm going to get out of here until Wednesday. I'll be back Wednesday with another dynamic show to address some of these issues, and it's either going to be the issue of the Europeans who started the slave trade, or more provocative is how the church started slavery. And I can give history. And matter of fact, I'm actually going to have to give references because somebody in there said, brother, can you give us the source? My apology for not giving the source. I'll be rushing through this. This stuff do take a lot of work, but I'll be giving the sources on my future shows. Appreciate y'all coming in. Kanye West, he said it. He said, it sounds like a choice to me. And even today, if we don't move forward, it not only sounds like, but we're choosing slavery over freedom. And that's just the fact.